Buenos dias.
I was given this number.
What could I do for you?
I understand that you're a man that can make fart sounds with his mouth.
I don't know who told you that, but they are 100% correct.
Oh, that's good. That is spot on. Oh, do a hot thrusty one. Oh, yeah. That's good. What's it? You don't ever call here again.
Hello and welcome to the Obsessive Viewer podcast. Today we're here with Hoi Polloi Entertainment. They're a trio of guys that put out some spectacular content on YouTube. It's hilarious, like kind of sketch comedy kind of stuff. You can find them at Hoi Polloi. Just type it into YouTube or Google, and you can find the links to all their stuff on the show notes of this episode, which can be found at obsessiveviewer.com or ovpodcast.com. So let's get to introductions. First of all, as a note, Tiny's not in yet. He's going to call in a little bit because he's running late. But right now it's just me and Mike. Mike, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. And you know, on the Obsessive Viewer, usually we stick to movies and TV, but we're kind of branching out to new media and internet videos. Yeah,
and it's becoming its own genre of art. Is this kind of new media and kind of almost viral kind of marketing strategy for entertainment that they create. So, and it's something that fascinates me personally.
And you view it, and you can become obsessed with it.
Exactly.
Thus, it fits on the show. So, how you guys doing, Hoi Polloi?
Good. Yeah.
Can we get names for the listeners?
We prefer to remain nameless. I'm Dustin.
I'm Patrick.
I'm Bret.
Nice. I'm the cute one.
We can tell.
Well, it's great to have you guys on, and thanks for coming on and talking to us because we've been trying to do this for a while, so I'm glad that we finally.
Long time listener, first time Skyper. So nice. Fantastic to be here.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. Oh yeah, no problem. So.
I also kind of want to lift this veil of professionalism and say that I've known Dustin for like 15 years, and I've known Bret for like 10 years.
Nice.
So we are friends. It's not like...
And I've been seen.
Yeah. And I've known Dustin for... It's been a long time since I met Mike. And I mean, until I saw the Casual Friday video of you guys, I always assumed that his penis was just a black bar, but I had my confirmation.
It's normally not black, but it is just a big rectangle.
I think we could have a whole discussion on just Casual Friday.
Yeah, let's talk about it for 40 minutes. Let's not.
How did you guys get started as how did you guys get started?
Yeah, what do you guys call yourself? Like, what is your
Masters of
medium?
Reality? No,
Masters of Reality?
No, I love it. I would say I've known Patrick for probably just about my whole life.
Yeah.
Our mothers went to the same church when we were kids, and we knew each other through that.
That's funny. That's funny right there. Like,
hey, but and then years later, I met Dustin at we worked together.
Yeah, coworkers.
I just noticed. I knew throughout the years, I'd worked with Patrick on a few things that we did, like in high school. Like we used to make some CDs and stuff like that, and like-minded people, and it's similar senses of humor and stuff like that. And we kind of all met up and really felt like it was something that we could really put some creative stuff together.
I think when I first met Dustin, Bret had been talking about him, and I think the first day that I met you. I think that's when we shot Grillin'.
Yeah.
We shot Boner Be Gone, Me Versus You, and then some other AIDS-related videos that never made it, but definitely some classics came out of the woodworks as soon as we met.
Yeah, it was just magic right off the bat.
The first thing that I ever did with you was probably Swiss Brothers.
Yeah. Well, we did. What was the other one we did that day? It was the All American Dipper.
All American
which
Dipper
hasn't been made yet.
No,
it's in the works.
It's lost footage.
We're gonna reshoot that.
But I had seen like Iron Taint XXX and what else?
Some of the other sketches.
Some of the other bits that Patrick had worked on with Bret.
Listeners should know that it's not a porn website.
No,
Right.
no, we don't. I mean, we do.
Well, not really.
No,
Well, there is nudity involved.
Sometimes.
Maybe softcore.
Sometimes.
For YouTube. No.
But so we shot Swiss Brothers and
Really grassrootsy too.
yeah, and then that footage got presented to Patrick, and then he made gold with it with editing. It's really the beginning of my relationship with them as a cohort.
Mm-hmm. So Patrick's the editor. It all kind of goes through him.
Patrick is the mastermind of the group.
I would like to say
what I love about a lot of your like earlier videos, especially Born to Be Gone and Swiss Bros, are the little Easter egg visual things. My favorite thing is Swiss Bros Coffee is brought to you by the Montreal Expos.
Thank you.
Was that your idea, Patrick?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
I feel like if I can't be in the video with them, I will be there in the editing. That's my character.
Gotcha.
Because most of the time I'm shooting it because we don't have anybody else to help us out. So really, it's the three of us doing all this.
We
at
prefer
once.
to have all three of us in them, but when we can't, we've got ways to all be there, kind of.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. That's great. So for our listeners, Hoi Polloi, is the name? Is it a reference to the Three Stooges?
No.
Okay.
But it could be.
Well, because I Googled it, because I wasn't...
If you like the Three Stooges, yes, it is.
I'm sorry. I Googled it, and I saw that. I was just curious. I've always wondered, like, how did they get the name Hoi Polloi?
It came from high school. It was in one of our... Actually, all right, if you've seen Iron Taint XXX, the old guy in Iron Taint XXX, the announcer, that was Bret and my English teacher.
Okay.
And one of our vocabulary words was Hoi Polloi. And I like the word, and it stuck, and I've always used it since then. So that's really where it came from.
Well, it means common folk,
right? And that's why, and it actually worked out because our comedy is very lowbrow, common comedy, and like we're not trying to, appeal to a higher class here. It is what it is. So, I think it all worked out in the long run.
Well, I think the video where you call the kind of sex line for fart noises, I think that's very highbrow.
I do too.
I have to say, I loved that video. I just died laughing. That was brilliant. I loved it.
What's the ratio of improv to scripted jokes when you guys do a video like that? Like where did you come up with, Bret, the names of the farts requests?
That was really off the top of my head,
That was I don't even think we were going to shoot that.
Yeah, that whole skit actually came about. I was on Facebook one day, and I was at work, bored, not working, and I sent Dustin a message just to be funny, to get a joke out of him, a laugh out of him. I just said, I understand that you're a man that can make fart sounds with his mouth. And Dustin, being Dustin, follows up, and we have basically a 5-minute conversation that's just inane and ignorant. And we were laughing about it the next time we got together to shoot something. And I just in passing told Patrick, I said, we were having this conversation the other day about, somebody calling somebody up or messaging them or whatever, and about fart sounds. And he's like, dude, we can shoot that. And I think it was about 45 minutes later, the video was done. And I would say about 90% of our ideas just come about from one of us going, hey, wouldn't it be funny if, and then one of the other ones going, yeah, let's do it. And we get whatever props, and I think we've written down dialogue maybe once or twice. I know we did the Culver skit, but everything else I think is just off the top of our heads. You know,
I think like if Dustin and Bret are in it and I'm shooting, they'll just improv as long as they go until I'm like, all right, we've had enough. Like they'll just keep going and going and going until like finally we're just like, all right.
We'll riff off of each other and like redo a scene 6, 8, 10, 20 times, and then Patrick can go through and really find the one that works the best, I think.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
So is there a text message out there in the ether that says, give me one of those short thrusty ones?
That was on the spot.
Yeah,
that one was just off the top of my head.
And not to toot my own horn, but I think I do make a pretty mean fart noise.
Right.
Oh yeah,
you do.
It was perfect.
You do.
That's great.
But I've always known that.
So one of the questions that me and Mike kicked around before we called you was how do you feel about the rise of new media and like the internet as a vessel, I guess, for people who aspire to do something with comedy? How do you feel about that in terms of just pushing out your creations out into the world? And if YouTube didn't exist, would you guys like even bother making this stuff, or would you kind of pursue something more? I don't know if I'm phrasing that correctly.
Well, I would have to say, first off, I think that it's a great way for people to put their stuff out there because a lot of people, funny people, they have great ideas and they make stuff, but nobody ever sees it. So I personally think that it's phenomenal for people who are into comedy like we are, and I think that it shows in even other forms of media too. Taking in consideration, Saturday Night Live recently hired a couple guys from the group Good Neighbor, and they're now featured players, and they're getting an opportunity to do their sketch comedy on television. And I think that having this outlet is a great way for people to be found.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. I'm fascinated by the whole process of it. It's fascinating to me that people can just throw it on there. And I mean, there's a lot of like.
There's so much stuff out there, and I love it. I think it's great, and But I think we all even before the internet, I was still making videos. I think we would, but I think we definitely love that there is a.
We would be the guys that are hanging out in the basement and just passing around CDs to our friends of like, oh, do you think this is funny? Thanks, But now we can say, hey everybody, let's. It opened the gate, in my opinion. It would be a thing amongst friends if not for the internet, and now it's everybody has that potential now.
And it doesn't matter how much stuff is out there. I mean, eventually, like the good stuff will come to the top.
Right?
I mean, you will find the good stuff. So,
and. I know this is kind of off topic, but it's not in regards to new media in general. I think the same goes for like music. If you look at what technology made readily available to people 10 years ago, like now maybe not 10 years ago. I mean, it was there, but now people can like record entire albums and then put it on the internet, and their stuff can be out there. It's the same sort of idea. It's just a different media.
Yeah, it's kind of the same concept as like even stand-up comics are doing that kind of thing, and I mean podcasts is kind of that same kind of
it's
idea.
It's like radio, but being made into this new media that can be more easily accessible.
Right, and it's a fascinating to me. Just the world that we live in is just populated by all these people that we're creative. It's a way for creative thinking people to get their creations out there and not just have it be like, oh, that would be a good thing to do if I had if I had a bunch of money and could get a contract somewhere, something like that. It's something that's like, okay, I can put out my creativity
Mm-hmm.
people have an outlet for their creativity in a way that they never had before.
So it's pretty clear that the internet is kind of the future of entertainment, and kind of like entertainment a la carte is the way of people accessing the internet. So things like in the past where it was SCTV on TV or SNL was on TV, and then today you have shows like Key and Peele and Kroll Show, which kind of live and die by how they live on the internet. Do you guys think of Hoi Polloi as like the first step in maybe a TV thing or maybe a movie thing, or is it like a hobby and you're going to keep doing this, or are you going to try to make even more out of the internet thing?
I think that if an opportunity comes up that we could do it in another format, we would take it, hands down. If that opportunity doesn't come up, I don't plan on stopping anytime soon, just because if life can be pretty mundane at times, and this helps me, I guess, get a break from that.
Gotcha.
What I always loved about acting is you get to be somebody else for a few minutes. And I love working with these guys. And, you know, if I woke up tomorrow and the internet was gone, I still think we would collaborate on things, you know.
Nice.
Gotcha.
And I think we would love to see our channel grow.
Yeah.
And I think like it would be great if we got a big following from it, and that led into something else. I don't know about. I mean, like I think movies and things like that would be down the road. Like once you had more success.
Sure.
The ideal road would be, hey, you fucking blew up on YouTube. Oh, they saw you on SNL. Oh, they want you to go on SNL. Oh, they saw that one joke you did. Oh, boom, then now you're in the movies. I mean, I think that would be the ideal path to go. But, I mean, like Mattingly said, I mean, wherever we go, I mean, we're not going to, like, turn our nose up at something. I mean, we're happy if we get 5 views on a video.
Yeah.
Right.
At the end of the day, if we think it's funny, that's what really matters the most to us.
Like,
you know?
when we started putting these things together, you know, it was just cool on its own, in our opinions, that, hey, look at what we did. You know, it was something that we were proud of already. And if other people think it's funny and want to go that route too, even better.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the beginning, it was just us appealing to ourselves, really, I think.
Yeah. Not to say that some ideas we've had haven't had the underlying intention of getting more views.
Well, yeah.
There's been plenty of things like, okay...
we were convinced it was going to be huge.
Yeah,
Mattingly's black bar penis is going to give us a lot of views.
Like, that actually came from a conversation, because beforehand we had done...
Wait, can we talk about? Can we just talk about Casual Friday? Because I think that's a very special video, in my opinion. Because you may not know, but we shot Casual Friday once already, and then we reshot it because we felt that it wasn't.
We had to be around Mattingly's naked body twice.
We did that. Yeah, we did that video twice. We saw twice, but I think it was good that we. You can maybe talk about that. How Noel was, you know, if you. Get into that a little bit.
My wife supports me.
She's a wonderful woman.
She's a wonderful woman who supports me 100%, even when she's not pleased with.
No, it was the performance. Like you.
Oh no, actually, yeah. That's what initially got us to re-record it.
That and the angle are like we didn't.
Yeah, the angle.
No. The first time we shot it was just the three of us, and we had to have a stationary cam, and it kind of like when Dustin was standing behind us, he was getting the top of his head cut off, and it was just a poor angle. And we pulled in a fourth person to experience this magical thing. And that's when we shot the second one. And I really do feel like the second time around where we had a little bit of time, almost like scripting something, our improv was still there. But I think the second time around, it wasn't as much like the initial action. The first time it was difficult to shoot just because we were laughing so much.
That's what my body does to me.
Yeah, that's actually you just described the first time Dustin ever had sex.
Wait, say that again. They were talking. I missed it.
I say he just described the first time Dustin had sex. There was too much laughing. He couldn't really.
Yeah, there was a lot of laughter that time. Yeah.
And then the first time there was no sock, and then the second video he was covered up with a sock.
Yeah. Which made the editing a lot easier for the eyes.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you've got balls.
Hey.
Yeah, that was good.
Hey. That's funny.
Well, that's great.
What are your guys' influences?
Yes.
I honestly think, I know this is going to sound cheesy, one of my biggest influences is probably Will Ferrell. In regards to, he does characters, but he's really always himself. You know what I mean? Like, everything that he does, he's not like Mike Myers in the sense that, you know, when he does a character, he's extremely different. Like, Austin Powers is extremely different from
the guy who played in Glorious Bastards.
Yeah, or
Fat Bastard,
or Love Guru, which I did not like at all.
I'm sorry.
He goes to extremes, whereas Will Ferrell, when he makes a character, I mean, there's a conceptual idea behind it, but
he's still
Will Ferrell every single time. I think that's probably a big thing for me. You know, I mean, I'll do voices if I need to, but that's probably the biggest influence from where I'm coming from.
What's your favorite Will Ferrell role or sketch?
Oh man, there's one that I absolutely love, and it was there's two. I'm going to say two. There's one that had Pierce Brosnan hosting Saturday Night Live, and he was trying to get a job at an in-flight magazine where Will Ferrell is Mr. Tarkanian.
Whip your nuts with a car engine.
Yeah. And this entire time he's super polite and he really wants to get Pierce Brosnan's contract. He really wants to get him to write for the magazine. Mm-hmm. And throughout the entire skit, he keeps noticing certain employees aren't doing what he wants, or like somebody's on the phone and as Tina Fey's on the phone, he slaps Tina Fey because it's a personal phone call.
To Pierce Brosnan, and he's very nice and polite. And
then
when he sees this, it's like a complete Jekyll and Hyde.
It ends fantastically with Chris Parnell coming in with a trident and a fishnet.
Like a gladiator.
Like a gladiator. He says, and I quote,
weights and doing cocaine all day.
I've been lifting weights and doing cocaine all day, and I'm ready to take you on, Mr. Tarkanian. And he says, oh, Pearson from accounting, I love it. And so
they fight,
and he beats him. But he does more than that. He ends up taking the trident with his back to the audience and just stabbing him in the stomach over and over again.
For about 30 seconds.
About 30 seconds straight. And it's just like, he turns around, he's covered with blood, and he sits down casually again to Pierce Brosnan. Yeah. Like, that's the sort of thing where, I don't know, it takes the ordinary and just ups it to the bizarre at certain points. Nice. And probably the second one would be much more simplistic. It was a Top Gun bit where Val Kilmer was on it, and he was basically supposed to be Iceman, but he was an older Iceman. Mm-hmm. And he was flying as co-pilot to Will Ferrell, and he just kept really, it wasn't Will Ferrell's best, but it had him in it. Val Kilmer was brilliant, though. My favorite line is when he said to Will Ferrell about, I don't know what it was, landing the plane or something. Your body's writing check, or your mind's writing checks your body can't cash, and that makes you dangerous. And I can rewatch it over and over again, and every single time it gets me.
Remember Shaq Black?
No, I don't.
God.
What about influences for you?
I have three influences for me. I've got Tim and Eric, the two of them together,
nice.
as one. Will Forte as my other one. And then the third is just, I don't want to say Michael Richards, but I want to say the character of Kramer. Like, I feel like Kramer does not get enough respect. I mean, like, I feel like he was one of the last of the great physical comedians. The stuff that he did is just...
The door slides.
Everything he did is beautiful on that show. And I love that. And then the Tim and Eric, I like to bring Tim and Eric into the editing as much as I can. if you can notice that
in
the stuff that we do. They're a huge influence. I think they are so ahead of the game in the stuff that they do. And then I was trying to text you guys last night about this, about anti-comedy. Have you guys heard about anti-comedy?
I think I've heard something about. Is it just like kind of that absurd nature that's just more kind of Tim and Eric, what they do? Is that kind of idea?
Yeah, they're doing it a lot lately, and I know it sounds like a f***ing joke, but it's not. It's hard to describe, but it's like comedy that just isn't overtly funny. And like, for instance, the best way to describe it is Tim has the show. It's Tim's Kitchen Tips, and he's like, he does this sketch where he just makes a meal and he mixes mustard and ranch together, and he has a dip, and it's not really that funny, but obviously you know that Tim and Eric, they know what funny is, but they're making this subpar video on purpose, and a lot of their new stuff is kind of anti-comedy, and I like that.
It's funny when you think about the grand scheme of it,
right?
You know,
a lot of people aren't going to really get it when they see it, and then and MacGruber is, I think, my idol. I mean, if I one day when I grow up and I could be MacGruber, I think that'll be check please.
I love it.
You know, your description of anti-comedy, it reminds me, Dustin, do you remember when you and I were talking about doing a cable access show?
Oh yeah.
And your dad had an idea for a skit where it was like clairvoyant fast food or something like that. And you came up to the place and they said, okay, that'll be something, and they pull around and they already have your order there. And I kept trying to make a joke about it, and he's like, no, they just know.
that is kind of anti-comedy, like
invented by my dad.
Never
knew.
Yeah.
And I think we were probably like 13 or 14 at that time.
Yeah, something like that.
I just think Tim and Eric in general, like the stuff they do. I mean, I know, like I think the three of us have been watching them forever, but I don't know if you really went on the street and asked somebody if they knew who Tim and Eric were, that they would. But that's really sad because, you know, like your favorite, like Will Ferrell, you know, Galifianakis, like
and they all work together, you know.
The great names work with them. I think those guys are so just ahead of the game and underappreciated. And they're just mad geniuses.
I mean, on the regular, they work with the likes of John C. Reilly, Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know, I grew up watching in living color, like Jim Carrey. I would say that was a big influence early on. You know, I was, 5 or 6 years old and watching Fire Marshal Bill. It was hilarious, and I mean, it was stuff like that and what Odenkirk did with like Mr. Show. It was a little edgier where they weren't like, especially Mr. Show, where it was on HBO, they were given a little more freedom on, how they could push the envelope on risque stuff or language or whatever. That influenced me. I think John C. Reilly is brilliant. His character is Steve Brule.
Dr. Brule.
I crack up every time. I found a skit that I hadn't seen before of him messing with. He's trying to contain this wild dog, and I could watch it 20 times in a row and laugh just as hard each time. And I think, especially with certain types of comedy, like anti-comedy and stuff like that, it's kind of almost like a niche. Some people get it, some people don't. And the people that do get it, I think, really appreciate it more. Because 10 years ago, there wasn't anything like this. There wasn't that type of medium, or not really a medium, but type of comedy.
The genre.
Exactly.
10 years ago, 20 years ago, I don't think anybody would have understood a Will Ferrell, that type of humor,
Right.
Like, I don't think they would have got that. Just like anti-comedy now, like, I think it's, I kind of think it's on the upper end.
Breaking ground, almost. Yeah.
I am gonna step back because, Mike, you brought it up.
Go ahead.
Second influence, my dad, probably. And it's ironic because he hates Will Ferrell.
He does?
But yeah, he doesn't like Will Ferrell at all. But my dad is probably a big influence, and my mother, ironically, another influence. Although she probably doesn't like most of the stuff that I do. because her love for Saturday Night Live kind of carried over with me, and so we used to watch it a lot together.
Did they let you stay up late?
Oh yeah, Saturday nights, yeah. But my dad, as far as his sense of humor, I mean, he used to come up to me, and actually a joke that we used in the Mega Bible when I talked about scrotum beer. That's my dad's joke.
Oh my God.
I didn't know that.
I just carried it over because my dad.
That makes it even better.
He used to always. Oh yeah. I
Mr. Medic.
I had to show it to him whenever we did it because like that was all you, Dad. That was you. It carried forward because
The gleam in his eye.
he used to pitch this idea to me for a commercial, but it was always scrotum gold. That was his idea. Scrotum gold. It was like a higher class scrotum beer. Yeah.
You're cutting
I
with
love
the
it.
I mean, even the catchphrase that I use, like nothing's more refreshing than a nice cold scrotum. That's my dad.
Unbelievable.
That is my dad.
This is news.
keeping
That's
secrets.
fantastic.
And it's funny because, like I said, like he envisioned this like scrotum gold, and it was
With the box.
basically like pirates. It's a really high budget production that he imagined. Like pirates get to this deserted island with this treasure map, and they find the mark, and they dig it up, and they flip open the chest, and it's all these gold caps of the beers, and then they pull them out of the ice, and it's this giant penis-shaped bottle. And all of a sudden, like, there's girls in bikinis everywhere, and they're opening.
It's totally an 80s beer commercial.
Yeah. And you know, they open up the beer bottles and foam starts shooting out, and like it's just like, I mean, that is my dad's sense of humor, and that's exactly what I have in me.
Don't be
That's
surprised
fantastic.
if you don't see us do that skit.
Oh, I still want to.
Oh, I want to see it.
That's-
Yeah.
How do your parents like Casual Friday?
Mine?
Yeah.
No, I don't. My mom's never seen it. I told her.
My mom loved it, by the way.
Your mom loved it?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
I told my mom don't watch it at first, and then she was like, well, I'm going to watch it. And I said, okay, well, you do whatever you want, but I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to like it. So I don't understand why you would watch something you know you're not going to like. You know, people who don't like horror movies don't go out and get a horror movie.
Right.
You know, it's not her taste. And I just let her know that ahead of time. And
So you're basically calling Casual Friday a horror movie.
in some sense, yeah, sure. I mean, depends on your.
Everybody died.
I feel like if we don't make something that you can't show your mom, like then I feel like we don't really win sometimes. You know, where if it's not a great not safe for work video, then it's like what's the point, man? Because there's so much stuff out there on the internet, and I feel like we also didn't talk about. I mean, I think we all have internet influences, like I'm Good Neighbor, Magic Hugs, John LaJoie, like I think are also just as equally impactful in the stuff we do as Will Ferrell or Tim and Eric.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You can watch like a Magic Hugs video or a Good Neighbor video, and watching them, you get a good laugh. But I think from like at least my standpoint is you get ideas on angles, how to shoot something, and how to expand on like, okay, I've got this idea or a premise for a skit. They did this. Well, we could do something similar but different, obviously. But it's just gives you a lot of open ideas, kind of like a collaborative. Everybody can watch each other's stuff and get ideas from it. But
it's good to see what's out there in the competition.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like
I do think sometimes it can make it hard to have original ideas, but at the same time, if you see a really good idea and it's not done well, it does give you an opportunity to take that good idea and make it more than what it originally was.
I agree with that. Like recently, I caught up on all of the what they called Adam Scott from Parks and Rec did a series of about 4 shows where it was the greatest event in television history on Adult Swim. What they did was they just shot for shot reenacted the intro to 4 different 80s sitcoms. It was like not Mork and Mindy, but Bosom Buddies and Simon and Simon, stuff like that. And they were great. And that got us thinking, like I see something like that, and I got a new, I went back and watched a lot of these old like Magnum PI and Quantum Leap intros, and that got me wanting to not copy one, but let's make something.
Make our own.
Yeah, let's do our own thing, but have that kind of in that same vein of cheesy, campy music and over-the-top action sequences and stuff like that. And I watch a lot of stuff like that, and it just gets the think tank going.
Nice.
I got to say, great minds think alike. I just recently filmed a commercial for my friend is the head of the drama department, and so they're putting on their show, their spring musical here soon, and so I filmed some things and I put it to the intro to Full House.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. That's great. Real quick, I'm gonna add Tiny to the call because he's ready. So if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna add him now. There he is.
Hi, Tiny.
Hey guys.
Long time no listen. How's it going?
Yeah, pretty good. How are you guys?
I'm doing
Not
fantastic.
well. We just we got some stuff going on in the group.
These pretzels are bad.
Yeah. So Tiny, for since you haven't been on the call, it's Dustin, Patrick, and Bret from Hoi Polloi.
Okay.
As you know, and so we've talked about your influence and stuff. What kind of comedy? I guess this is the same kind of thing, but what kind of comedy are you guys watching? Like today? Like what did you watch today, or the past few days in terms of comedy that really spoke to you?
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say right now, I've been watching Cheers from the beginning on Netflix.
Oh, nice.
I've wanted to do that so bad, but I haven't had the time.
Yeah, it has a lot to do with the fact that I watched it when I was a kid, right? I remember watching Cheers syndicated, reruns. I'm good, and I thought, it's such an iconic show that I really think that it deserves a fully conscious adult watch.
Nice.
So, and it's awesome that I feel like I can really appreciate a lot of the jokes. A million times more than I did when I was young.
Right.
But the actors in that, incredible, an incredible cast, a great setting. It's one of those. Anytime you can have like a one set show where everything happens on this. I think probably one of my favorite Friends episodes was the one where they're all getting ready to go out to this. I can't remember what it was.
The one where no one's ready.
Yeah, no one's ready. Right?
Joey puts on all the clothes.
Yeah, Joey, and the hummus on Phoebe's blouse, all that stuff. Like the fact that they did that all in one set. And it never lost its pizzazz. It's one of my favorite episodes because of that. It's all in real time. It's fantastic, and that's one of the things I really like about Cheers, is that most of all of it happens at the bar. Even if it's in the office or if the camera goes back to the pool room, it doesn't even do that all the time. And there was one episode I watched. It was like the end of the first season where Sam's brother shows up. And you never see Sam's brother. And even when he goes to the back room and he's like tap dancing and showing off to all the other patrons at the bar, you never see him. And they all move up to the bar as a crowd, and you hear what's supposed to be his voice, and you still never see him. And they go back into the pool room, and the camera doesn't follow them. It just stays out at the bar, and you can just hear them having a good time. That sort of stuff, I really, really enjoy that.
Nice.
I think what I'm into right now is mainly internet-based stuff. Or it's on TV, I guess, some of it, but I watch it on the internet. For instance, we were just talking about Pete Holmes.
Oh yeah,
you guys watch Pete Holmes?
I haven't watched his show, but I haven't heard his podcast either. But I've heard him on Doug Loves Movies, and he's amazing.
Yeah.
I would definitely watch his videos on YouTube.
He's so great at making simple stuff funny. I love him. Mark Maron, are you watching any of his stuff right now? He's on Netflix.
Right, his Maron shows or just Maron is on Netflix.
Yeah, I really like his stuff right now. And then I still like going on and, if John LaJoie or Good Neighbor make something, man, or I'll go on Hulu and watch Good Neighbors. I'll just watch their stuff from SNL because I really don't care about the rest of the cast right now. But because I'm just so I'm just so fascinated that they got on SNL based on their internet stuff.
Well, they really got started right around the same time we started putting stuff together. And
it's just crazy.
We kind of filtered off a little bit for a while.
At least 2 years.
Probably. We got phase 1 and phase 2 of Hoi Polloi. Right. We're in phase 2 right now. Phase 1, and then we took like a year or so off.
Yeah, we just kind of took a break, and it wasn't really until the Good Neighbor guys got on SNL where it
gave us a kick in the ass.
It lit a fire under our ass, I mean, big changes, let's get back in this.
Because, we watched them starting out, we watched all of them. We watched John LaJoie, start out with his videos before he was ever on
all
the league.
He had was just standing there with a green screen.
Yeah. And that's classic. Show me your genitals. That's a classic.
Oh, he's brilliant.
It's been passed around the internet so many times.
It's like Bret's imaginary sister. It's been around the block.
Her. She's a special girl.
But I'd say that's what I'm into right now. It's mainly internet stuff or the random Netflix thing.
Right.
I don't know what movie, really, comedy movie. I haven't seen Anchorman yet.
I really like any movies that focus mostly on improv. Like one of my all-time favorites is probably This Is Spinal Tap. It's good every single time, and the little things that they come up with off the top of their heads in that movie they speak to me on. Could you stop with that bag? Could you stop?
I'm just
enjoying a little bit more polite. I'm in the middle.
I'm just unwrapping a Werther's here.
Yeah, you got
hold on.
From you.
Werther's.
Too many Werther's.
There's nothing more sweet than a Werther's in your mouth.
It's the only thing we suck on.
Werther's.
I would say anything that I'm watching lately, I would have to agree with Patrick. Pete Holmes has really just kind of come out of nowhere almost. I know he did some College Humor stuff over the years, but where he got that new show that Conan helped him out with, I think he's at CBS too. Some of his sketches, I can tell that he's kind of like-minded, like we are, where he's doing like X-Men stuff and Street Fighter stuff. He's a 30-year-old nerd. Well, I'm a 30-year-old nerd, And, I still read comic books and watch cartoons and shit like that. I have no plans on officially growing up until absolutely necessary. But, and I imagine because of his content, I've really gotten a lot out of that. I think that's some great stuff. Really relatable. A lot of the Tim and Eric, especially the Steve Brule stuff.
Steve, that's gold. That's perfect.
He's created this character, and it's just brilliant for like a public access show. It's really that stuff's good. But as for like movies and stuff like that, I could watch Dumb and Dumber every day and still laugh at it.
But it's like what in the last 5? Like we got all our favorites, like we've been talking about, like to go back to, like Dumb and Dumber. But what in the last 5 years do we really go back to and watch? I don't know. I don't. In the last 5 years, it's probably just been internet stuff.
I would.
As far as comedies.
Yeah, as far as your influences, like in the past 5 years, like.
The Magic Hugs stuff, probably about once every couple months, I'll go back and watch all of their stuff and laugh just as hard and think, man, that was brilliant or this or that.
But I don't know if there's been any like Anchormans or Dumb and Dumbers in the last 5 years. I don't know Anchorman.
Hangover, the first Hangover, which legacy has been ruined by the sequels, but
right.
That first Hangover was pretty huge.
I love Due Date. And I love the fact that they left it alone, kind of like what you were hinting at with The Hangover. If they would have just made the one, and we've got this, here it is. But I love Due Date. I thought it was brilliant. I love Galifianakis' character in that one too, as Ethan Tremblay. But I thought
I'll say MacGruber, man. That would be my
MacGruber,
in the last 5 years. Like that. If you don't laugh at that, you're going to a dark place when you're that.
I actually just rewatched This Is the End. I think that
still need to catch that one.
I think that Seth Rogen and what's his
James Franco?
No, not James Franco. No,
Jay Baruchel.
Jay Baruchel.
Say that again.
James Dean's clone.
Jay Baruchel.
No, his partner in crime was it Goldberg. Is that his last name?
Oh, Evan Goldberg.
Ethan.
Yeah,
Evan Goldberg.
Yeah.
Evan Goldberg. Yeah, I think those two have something really going for them right now. And This Is the End was just such a great concept to me because everyone played personified versions of themselves, and I absolutely loved that. And there was
take the Franco, don't take the Seth Rogen band.
Yeah. And so many people were in that. You even see
Craig Robinson.
Craig Robinson's in it, but
Rihanna.
Paul Rudd.
Hermione Granger.
Paul Rudd is outside whenever the earthquake's happening, and right after Michael Cera dies and the ground starts to fall apart, he's running away, and he has something in his hand I can't remember, and he is running away, and his foot goes into someone's face and kills them, and he just he's disgusted and runs off. Yeah. And you don't even really think that that's Paul Rudd, but there's so many people in that movie, even if they die right off the beginning. It's I think it's an incredible thing to watch, to see that sort of satire of themselves.
Yeah. I'd like to bring up a question, just not for you guys, but for the two guys here with me. What would be more interesting, being incredibly successful on the internet or being on SNL and being mediocre successful, which I think is kind of interesting because I think the three of us deep down would all love to be on there. I mean, who wouldn't want to be on there? But you can't necessarily do the type of comedy maybe that we always want to do on there because you got ratings and you're on television. So nowadays, would it be better if you were just super successful on the internet or SNL?
I would rather do whatever we wanted to, personally. It's always been a dream to be on Saturday Night Live for me. But,
it's kind of, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's kind of what I was almost getting at earlier on, is that, you guys are almost ahead of the game in terms of where the future is going. The future of TV is going to be a la carte. You'll pick what you want to watch, and that's about it. And it makes you wonder if people are going to want to watch, if they're going to get NBC anymore and they're going to watch SNL, but the internet's going to be there. And I almost feel like you guys are in a spot now where it is, if you found your niche, and if you can find your market and you just stay there, that's kind of the way to go.
Yeah, and I agree. Like I said, if we can make what we want to make, as compared to being told what to make, it's going to be harder to make money that way. But it's not about the money for me. It's about getting together with some friends and making something that other people can also watch and enjoy. Not to say everyone will, but if they do, then hurrah for us.
I think I would like the internet over SNL in the long run, because I'm sure SNL, you've got Lorne Michaels. And
it gives you a lot more freedom.
Telling you what to do and controlling your stuff. And with the internet, we can do whatever we want.
Like what you said, at SNL, if it was per se, a mediocre career, you might end up obviously a lot of people on SNL end up taking that to the next step, like Will Ferrell or Amy Poehler, people like Tina Fey, people like that they further their career with it, and then you have Chris Kattan, who does a really crappy movie, and then what happened to that guy?
Yeah,
and nothing against him, but
a lot against him.
But
he's a terrible person.
I think what I love most about it all is, I love to act. I love the process of getting together with some friends. I know, especially with the three of us, we'll have conversations about comic book movies, and I love movies. I probably, that's my biggest hobby is, I have so many freaking movies that it's not even funny, but I love that. And coming up with ideas just saying, hey, wouldn't it be cool with, or we've gotten together, I don't know how many times, and bitched about the X-Men movies and how we could write a better one. And it's almost...
Or Fantastic Four. Have you heard about the new Fantastic Four? Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
What the hell is going on there?
That'd be great.
What the is going on there? Jeez.
Honestly, my biggest complaint is Miles' charisma. It's like, Michael B. Jordan,
I'm going Michael B. Jordan all the way. He's
a great actor. I mean,
he's great. Chronicle is a fantastic movie. Josh Trank really did a good job on it. But if of all the superhero properties, in my opinion, I think the Fantastic Four is the hardest sell for the simple fact of the stretchy guy. Mr. Fantastic, I don't care how good your CGI is, it's still going to look goofy. And from that point on, hey, we can do a guy with claws, or we can do this Norse god, or this guy that catches on fire, or an invisible woman, which that's the easiest one.
Yeah.
Or the rock guy.
No, but they're not even going to make him look like the regular thing anymore. They're like, we're going to make him look more realistic because... I did a jerk
thing
off.
will look like an eczema.
He's got really bad eczema on his body.
Anyway, that's really off topic.
Oh no, we can.
It's just I'm really
No, not real. I mean, that's what we talk about.
Kind of our thing, yeah.
Yeah, that's
a lot of frustration over here in regards to the Fantastic Four. But me, I just say, you know what?
I
don't
more
give a
bent shape about the X-Men movies. You will hell hath no fury over a barely pissed at X-Men movie.
In my opinion, I've gotten to a point where if it's not a, I mean, I'm really a Marvel guy, which Mike knows. If it's not a Disney Marvel Studio movie, then I don't have expectations anymore.
The second Ghost Rider really didn't rev your engine?
No, I didn't even see the second Ghost Rider. Just because,
3.
So you're saying you're not excited about Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Well, no. It's not that I'm not excited.
I'm excited about that.
I'm excited, but I don't have an expectation of
I don't
being.
either, because personally, I think they're trying to cram too much into it.
But I think that not having that expectation is going to allow me to enjoy the movie more, and that's how I look at all of them. Is that if I don't have this idea,
but I just think if they would slow down just a little bit and say, okay, do we really need a movie with Paul Giamatti in a rhino robot suit?
Actually, I just read Mark Webb said he's only in the movie for like 4 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, and that makes me happy. I kind of had the same complaint, but I was hoping, I think I might have said it on this podcast, that I hope it's like 4 minutes, 5 minutes at the beginning of the movie, and Mark Webb confirmed that.
On the other hand, you've wasted a character for no reason.
well, not true, because they are going to do a Venom movie and a Sinister Six movie, so even if it's just introductory and of the character, they can utilize the character again later.
I don't know. The idea of it being a robot suit, I'm not as hot on that. I know they do that in the Ultimate Spider-Man stuff, or wasn't it like a robot?
I have no idea about
either way. And obviously, given what the trailers have given us, you've got Norman Osborn looks like he's bedridden, and it's going to be Harry Osborn as the Green Goblin. But I just think the movie's got too much in it. You've got Spider-Man dealing with Rhino for about 5 minutes. You've got him dealing with Electro for about an hour and a half. And somewhere in through there, they've got to kill off Gwen Stacy. And it's like, okay, is this going to be a 4-hour movie or...
Which I think we can all agree, spoiler alert, they're going to kill Gwen Stacy.
Well,
Oh, really? I was going to say, I don't think they have the guts.
I think there's even some rumors that they're going to introduce Mary Jane, too, at the end.
Well, they've cast Mary Jane. They've even filmed
They
some
shoved
stuff
her off
with
in
her,
the third one.
but she's not coming until the third movie.
Oh, really?
Right.
It's not Naomi Campbell.
I get what you're saying, where they just keep messing with the old property. I agree with that. It's I've read comic books my whole life. The Marvel Studios, the Disney stuff, they're staying relatively true to what the old stories. Like if you watch Captain America, that's basically how Cap came about. Thor, all of them. Thor left out the fact that he could change into a mortal man, but that's not a huge gripe. Just leaving with God is good enough. But they've held true to the basic storylines.
Well, I think
these stories have held up over the years because they're good. Why change them?
I think the big reason why they didn't go that route, which the original script I read they did go that route, but then they changed it, and I think that a lot of that had to do with synergy with Marvel as a publishing company. If they would have done that, it would have been different than what the comics read now. And I think that while that is two different forms of media, they are going to try to get new readers into the comics, and if they don't have that continuity between them, then that might be an issue. But again, who am I to say? I like I said earlier, my expectations for anything that's not owned by Marvel Studios and worked with by Marvel Studios, I'm excited to see it just because I'm a fan of the material, but I don't have an expectation of them to please me as a fanboy of comics. I have every expectation of them to take the material and try to do their own creative twists on it and take all the artistic freedoms they want and make it whatever they want to make it, which could be good, could be bad. But I feel like not having an expectation of what it should be, I leave myself more open to the idea of being satisfied with a good movie. I try to separate my comic fanboy and my moviegoer relationship.
Yeah, you kind of have to anymore.
Yeah. I'm surprised.
You have to be realistic.
Superhero sketch.
Oh yeah, we've talked about doing superhero.
I think the one we talked about was Who Wants to Rule the World, and it was a Big Brother parody.
I want to do a cartoon though.
It was a house full of about 6 or 7 supervillains that were forced to live together, and the hilarity that ensues of these maniacal idiots that live together.
Did I tell you we can't use Black Death anymore?
Why?
That's already a character. It was in Kick-Ass 2. That's what it was.
Kidding.
I watched Kick-Ass 2 and was like, oh man, we can't do Black Death.
You could. It's not like the Black Death is copyrighted.
Our version was a guy with a prison shank.
Yeah, he was just in like an orange jumpsuit and just shanked people. That was our Black Death.
It was like a sharpened pencil with a duct tape wrapped around the bottom of it.
Yeah.
You just stab people with it.
But anyway, we digress.
Nice.
Good tangent.
Yeah.
Right?
We could, and I mean, I wish we had the time, but we could go into more detail. You mentioned Marvel. We probably shouldn't touch Star Wars just because there's not enough time.
Oh no!
Don't do it. Just enough.
Yeah.
What kind of stuff do you guys have coming up?
Oh,
God.
We've got
so much
Santa's bag of ideas. It's not even funny. Well, hopefully it's funny.
It will be funny.
We've got an idea for just doing like we're kind of wanting to do like take an angle like what Tim and Eric kind of did with creating like a public access station. Like, and we hinted at that with that Culver spot we did with Channel 6 HP News, and just having a variety of shows that would air on this Channel 6. And one would be like an intro to like an 80s sitcom called Appalachian Vice. And that's like a detective show, like 3 cops in the
3 cop partners.
Yeah, three cop partners. All American Dipper, which is like the redneck MacGyver.
Coming or Going show. Coming or Going show is where you look at an audience member gets selected and they look at a picture and decide whether or not the person is having an orgasm or they're going to the bathroom. It's the Coming or Going
show.
It's
just a headshot.
What is it, Esteban?
We have another one called Cool It Alfonso.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
Cool It Alfonso, and that's a show where it's 3 buddies, Lamar, Jamal, and Alfonso, and the shenanigans that they get into, these 3 teenage guys. But they're all just really stuffy white guys with
but
traditionally African-American names.
We're trying to create almost a television channel and then we'll these like hints of these shows, but
bleed into everything else.
But they will actually be will be longer skits eventually.
Yeah. Like we have a one we've always wanted to do for years, Ghetto Prom.
Oh my God,
Colonial Tampons.
Colonial Tampons. That was a good commercial. But like Ghetto Prom is a classic like TV teen drama, like the
like
OC,
a
Dawson's Creek. But it follows Anne Frank and her her group of friends who because they're being
in the Polish
repressed,
ghetto.
Yeah, they're in the Polish ghetto. But they want to have prom.
They want to have a prom, and but the Nazis obviously won't let them.
Yeah,
and the struggles of these teens wanting to have a prom,
and so it's a mix
1940s Polish character.
And so it's a mix of narrative readings of her journal.
Schindler's List meets Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, it's Schindler's List meets Dawson's Creek, essentially. And then what we had. Time Pirates, which is an old one. That's
these Time Pirates is it's these three pirates, but they're pirates. What was the saying?
They're time pirates from a future time of time traveling pirates,
right? And they have like one of them has a hook that's the time travel device. You twist the hook and they can travel through time. And they're the reason why history is as screwed up as it is. Like one of the skit ideas was. John Wilkes Booth comes home after a hard day of acting at work and finds his wife all strewn out over the bed.
Completely satisfied sexually. And next to the bed is a top hat with a ticket for Ford's Theater in it. And his reaction is, Lincoln! And it's basically like the Time Pirates are the reasons for history's horrible things. Yeah. And he just cut to a shot of these three guys dressed as asshole pirates laughing maniacally. Yeah, that Time Pirates are the reason why Hitler hated Jews. I mean, that's the idea behind it. We had Sandwich Wars. I'm excited about Sandwich Wars.
Sandwich Wars. It's like a it's like a preview for a show. It's if you, I guess you could like it to. Like the Gordon Ramsay kind of cooking shows.
Mixed with Chopped, which I love Chopped, by the way.
You know, but it's like you've got...
Your sandwich is no good.
Yeah, you've got like 4 or 5 people making a sandwich. And you've got this master chef, John Peel, or whatever we called him, I can't remember. And
John Ham.
John Ham, yeah.
John Ham.
And this guy just have a character in a chef's outfit losing his shit because somebody put... Swiss cheese on a sandwich, you know.
But all of these ideas, they're all going to be kicked off by one amazing video that's going to melt your penises back into your bodies and create man vaginas. And it's going to be a video called Ramathon.
Oh, yeah.
Ramathon.
Yeah, Ramathon is the classic Monster Jam 1980s promo for like a monster truck rally or something, you know, but it's the Ramathon. So
you're running into buses full of fiery dead hookers.
Yeah.
And, welcome to Ramathon.
Who will be crowned king of Ramalot?
Yeah.
Saturday.
Oh, that's great. It sounds like you guys have obviously a lot of great ideas.
Downtime.
I would like to say, I want to point out too. Here's how we come up with this. This is kind of, and this kind of ties back to technology and just you know, we probably couldn't do it without Facebook. Like since none of us live, you know, really close together, the way like we come up with this is, you know, pretty much every day on Facebook we'll be getting to know in a 3-way style, you know, chatting it up, and we'll just talk. We'll bust out ideas throughout the week. And then hopefully by that Sunday we'll shoot them.
We'll know what we can actually put together that doesn't involve a Michael Bay budget.
Yeah, but basically it just consists of about like a week's worth of Facebook chats.
We're pretty much always in contact with each other, whether or not we can respond right off the bat. But sometimes, oh man, I go to work in the evenings. Both of these guys work day jobs, right? I go to work in the evening. I get off of work. I look at my phone. Oh, I have like 30 messages on Facebook.
Yeah, I know what that's like.
And it's like
preaching to the choir.
I get that from these guys on the pod chat.
Yeah.
Oh man! But then what really grinds my gears is when
we ask them questions.
Yeah.
Well, they'll ask me questions, and like I think one time Patrick said, "Okay, Mattingly, I assume since you're not answering, you're probably giving young boys blowjobs or something." and I can't defend myself because I'm not around to say, "No, I don't do that."
Oh, you wouldn't defend yourself from that.
I mean, the U.S. government's probably going to come knocking on my door saying, "Hey, where are the boys?
Yeah.
Where are the boys?
No, they're in the basement.
They're keeping them."
Oh, there's another video, Chick in the Basement. Look forward to that coming soon.
Oh man!
No, that's one thing we're not short on at all is ideas. And I think that's completely a good thing. You know, for every 3, like when we get together, like you know, we'll meet up on a Sunday. it's not uncommon for us to film 3, 4, or 5 things. And, that gives us time to edit them. And, it's a nice steady stream of stuff coming out.
Oh, Chet the Vet 3.
Chet the Vet 3 is coming, yeah. The proper Chet the Vet, not the observations on nature.
Yeah,
but we've got some stuff already in the works. But for every, I would say 3 or 4 ideas that we come up with or that we film, we'll have probably
at least 5.
At least 4 or 5 more on top of that.
Concepts,
yeah. And sometimes those concepts kind of bleed into each other. We want to do like a video, remember the old, what was he, the Kentucky Hammer, the Daryl Isaacs. He was like a local lawyer that had these really over-the-top commercials, like a little criminal defense lawyer. And, we thought, we could do something like that. Or we've had like a behind-the-music documentary idea for a while with Balls and Chains was the name of the 80s band and stuff like that. But
oh, that's great. Well, I mean, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I think we're getting kind of run. I don't remember what time we started recording, but
we're about an hour and 12 minutes in.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we're fine,
Of course,
okay.
We're probably going to edit a lot of this out.
No, but is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Any plugs or anything? You guys are on Twitter at, is it Hoi Polloi Vids? Hang on.
I think so. Is that our Twitter?
Hold on. Patrick's taking a leak.
Oh, okay.
Patrick!
Foley's filling in.
Take the mic into the bathroom.
Yes.
What's our Twitter?
Twitter.com/Hoi Polloi Vids. I think it's Hoi Polloi Vids.
Yeah. Did you catch that?
Just anywhere you go, man. Just Twitter. We're on Instagram. Tell your friends. Tell your mom. We're just go anywhere and type in Hoi Polloi Entertainment, and you'll find us. It's either Hoi Polloi Entertainment or it's Hoi Polloi Vids. It's a little mixed up throughout, but
yeah, I know how that goes. When I was making the URLs and everything for Obsessive Viewer, I kind of had that situation come up.
And we're pretty. I find that's a whole other conversation. Twitter, just in general. I try to tweet for us, and it's incredibly hard, and it's a terrible thing in my opinion. It just takes forever, and we're on there. It
takes forever.
Yeah.
But still follow them.
It's so inconvenient. I just don't even know. Now, real quick, I just want to say, as a fan of the podcast, I think you guys do a great job as far as talking about the subject in which you do talk about with poise and great knowledge and grace. There we go, and grace. And Matt, you personally, I love you as the mediator, because you really are a mediator between Tiny and Mike.
Yes, he is.
It's a great dynamic to the threesome that you guys are sexually and non-sexually doing.
Right.
But you have a couple sayings, like there's moments. I don't know if you ever watched Psych.
Yes. I never did.
You never watched Psych?
No.
Okay. Well, Gus is by far my favorite character of the show, and the reason is he has these like go-to things that he'll say, and they're just like Gus moments when he'll say something like, "Oh, that's true," or and it's just like, you know what I mean? You have these moments where you say things like,
"You're the Gus."
You are the Gus. You're like, "Oh, nice,
interesting."
Or,
one of my go-to things is interesting.
Yeah, or oh, very, very cool. Yeah, very, very cool. And anytime that happens, I think an angel gets its wings.
It's a drinking game. It's on purpose.
It should be.
Exactly.
I'm going to do that next time.
Yes, I want our listeners to be trashed.
This entire time. Yeah. It's been hard because we've been talking.
Banquet beers here.
I just want to say, for all our obscure internet names out there, you can find them all under one place, which is our YouTube page, which is just youtube.com/Hoi Polloi videos. Like, you can just...
It's vids, isn't it? It's vids.
Or vids.
It's vids.
Not that easy.
Yeah, we have our Instagram, our Facebook, and just everything up there.
And
so
for anyone listening, I'll put all the links to all that in the show notes. Just check the show notes in the lyric section of the podcast as you're listening to it, or go on obsessiveviewer.com and look up the episode specifically. It's all just right there.
On our Instagram page, we do have naked pictures of Dustin. So,
well,
not safe for work.
Kind of naked.
Yeah, it's just the backside.
Yeah, I don't count that as naked.
Yeah,
I already seen it.
Yeah, not safe for work or not. I still look at it at work.
I know you do.
Desktop.
Yeah.
I've gotten the fan emails from you.
Yes. So, all right. Well, I guess that about does it. I don't want to take any more of your time and all
we're
that.
busy men. We've got a lot of meetings to go to, and
Yes,
you pretty
I'm
much
sure.
interrupted our entire night. So,
Might be shot to hell.
well, thanks a lot, jerks.
Well, thanks for being on, guys.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming on. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was great. It's great.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah.
And
Our pleasure. You know.
I make sure to
An honor.
honor, pleasure, all that jazz.
Yeah. Actually, thank you. In our 10 years that Hoi Polloi has been around, this is our first interview. So
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we popped your cherry.
I'm just trying to say that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
This is really special for us. You know, a little bit of a sense of accomplishment. I think.
We
I
appreciate it.
don't know if I'll be able to do another interview ever again, because I'll always think of you guys as my
Oh,
first.
nice.
You know, we get that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you do. I bet you do.
One more shout out to Werther's Original.
Yeah.
Montreal Expo.
Montreal
Expos and Swiss Bros Coffee.
Breakfast blend.
Breakfast blend, of course. You know,
Pick up the Mega Bible at the bookstore
Yeah.
somewhere.
if you can find the Mega Bible at Barnes and Noble or Walden's Books,
Well, we do a-
Books a Million.
We'll
Yeah,
be
Books a
doing
Million.
a book signing at the Books
Yeah.
a Million before until the security escorts its house.
Yeah.
Scrotum Black. Pick it up at your local Sicko if you can find it. We sponsor that.
Colonial tampons.
Colonial tampon.
Your period is coming. Your period is coming.
It's either this or a stick. So, did we get them all? Nike. We're also Nike sponsor.
Nike.
Okay.
Big surprise
Yeah.
there, right? Yeah.
Sidewaysers. Check them out.
Hello. Hooters Original.
Wait, what?
Is there another Hooters? It's just Hooters Original.
Okay.
Coke Classic.
Classic.
Not Diet Pepsi. We don't want to put that in there because we're
Crystal
not,
Pepsi.
We're not affiliated
Trojan
with that.
condoms.
Trojan condoms.
Basically anybody who will send us free maybe.
Yeah.
Nice.
Tomatoes. We want to put a shout out to
Yeah, because
tomatoes.
all of those companies are listening to our podcast.
Yes.
Le Tigre Polos. We want to mention them too.
Cost.
When we play golf, we always play with Le Tigre.
And Top Flight.
Yeah, and Top Flight.
They're the best balls.
We're just going to keep doing plugs until you tell us to shut up. So. Ridgemont Furniture. If you're not riding in a Ridgemont, you're not riding high.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Well, that's great. Thanks, guys, for coming on again.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Interesting. That's interesting.
Oh, cool.
Fascinating.
Very
Cool.
cool.
Very cool.
My mom's calling now. You guys did it.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you very much for having us on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
See ya.
Guys, take care.
You too.
Have a good night and a pleasant tomorrow.
Tiny is not in right now. He's running late, so he's gonna call in. He's gonna Skype in here in a bit.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're just gonna have just me and Mike.
What's weird, what you guys don't know, the one of you who hasn't listened to this show is Tiny is actually the name Matt gave to his penis.
Yes. He's hiding.
Why is he scared, Matt?
Well, the pills haven't taken effect yet.
Okay.
But I'm laying on my stomach, so I'll just slowly rise up, and I'll know when it's ready.
That's gold.